I crack me up. I do. I crack me up. So, hey, everybody. Welcome to What the Quote. I'm Tawana, your host, and I am with the beautiful and dynamic Dana Wright this evening. Hi, Dana. Can you
Hi,
hear me?
Tawana.
Okay,
How are you?
awesome. I'm fine. I'm fine. So, I have to tell everybody that um, I'm learning and new. And so it's always very exciting, these new experiences that I have. And so I am texting Dana. I'm like, hey, let's jump on about, 20 till 7, make sure everything's working. But here's the thing, she's in Chicago, which means that she's not in Indianapolis, which means what time is it there, Dana?
What you say now?
What time is it there where you are now? What time is it?
It's 6:04 actually,
Okay.
and so it was my fault that I did not clarify the time. I knew it, and I didn't at the same time.
So it is not your fault. That's part of my learning lessons in starting a new podcast. So it's all good. So you were able to make it. So thank you
Yeah.
for that. Hey, it's just one of the things that happens. So first, I want to check in with you because you're in Chicago. And well, are you in Chicago, Chicago?
I'm not. I don't live in Chicago. I'm
Yeah.
a mile or so outside of it, but a few miles, a couple miles. But it's very close,
Yeah.
and so, yeah, lots going on here in Chicago.
So how are you feeling? How are you doing? I know you were up early this morning. How are you
Yeah,
feeling?
I feel okay. I was up, like you said, pretty early, about 2 a.m., just, as things got started. And just because I have a couple of teams that are in Chicago. And so just corresponding back and forth with all the activity going on. And, so just having to stay up and kind of monitor that. So,
Yeah.
hey.
Can you say what you do for a living? Or is it like top secret? Uh-oh. Let's see. We may have lost her. Let's see if she comes back around. So anyway, I am talking to Dana Wright. I'm sure she will come back in. So while we're waiting for her to come back in, we're going to start the intro to What the Quote. At What the Quote, we create kind humans who speak kindness, show kindness. Be a kind human. Be a kind human. Awesome. Okay, so we lost Dana, but I'm sure she's going to jump back in when she can. I think maybe her signal wasn't strong enough. So I'm going to talk a little bit about where I met Dana. I think we recently just came up with the fact that um, I think we met in 2003. So both her and I went through Valerie Burton's um, life coach program and to be a life coach and an executive coach. And I don't remember how many of us were in the class, but Dana was one of the young ladies. You know how you meet somebody and it's just something about them? Well, she was one of the young ladies in the class. And so over this time, we have kept in touch. We are on Instagram. And so she does a lot of great things. She's getting ready to have a grandson here shortly. And she also does some life coaching. So it's really been one of the relationships that has kind of been cultivated over the last few years. Since that time, she's doing some coaching. She has Wright Consulting that she does. And so I'm sure she'll talk a little bit about that. She's in Chicago. There was a lot going on this morning, and she was telling me that she had been up since 2:30 this morning, just kind of making sure that her team is taken care of. So um, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm sure you're sleepy. But I did really, really appreciate her for taking the time out to, speak with me for a few minutes. So I am going to, at every episode, we dance because that's one of the things I like to do. And I'm trying something a little different because I'm learning how this podcasting works. And so I'm going to play a song. So if you're at home and can safely dance, if you hear the music I'm getting ready to play, then we're going to dance for 30 seconds. Here we go. Okay, that's it. That's how we do it. Hey, that's how we do it here. So listen, I hope y'all were able to hear the song. Okay, I hope you're able to hear it. If not, then, you could just catch on the beat with me when I was dancing. So, one of the things that was really important to me when I was starting this podcast is that it looked like me. And I love to dance, I love quotes, and I love kind humans. So, one of the things that you'll hear me talk a lot about, ooh, I ain't as young as I used to be. I'm out of breath. So, one of the things that you'll hear me talk about is being kind. And so when I was talking to my coach, Tony Sanders, who is phenomenal, I might add, he was asking me, so what is a kind human? Like, what does that mean? And for me, a kind human is someone who speaks kindness, shows kindness, and stimulates kindness in others. So that is really the gist of this podcast. And if you know anything about me, I love quotes, hence the title, What the Quote. So I'm going to see if, let's see here. Let's see if I can text Dana and see. And then if not, we're just going to talk about her quote. Let's see. Okay, so I'm going to tell you what her quote is. And we'll see if she can get back on. Okay, so one of the things that I love about interviewing people is the fact that I get to hear what their favorite quote is. And when I was talking to her about coming on, she was like, I don't know. And I'm like, hey, listen, 2020 is the year that we are doing new things and stepping out of our comfort zone. So I was very, very excited when she said that she would come on and let me interview her. So her quote is actually a quote from Lena Horne that says, "It's not the load that breaks you down. It's the way you carry it." And it's so funny that when I was texting back with Dana right before we got on, she was telling me about a lot of the unrest that's happening in Chicago. And at the end, she was like, hey, it's all about how you carry it. And I thought that it was very inspirational that she had been up since 2:30 in the morning dealing with a lot of unrest and some of the things that she was doing in Chicago, but still was able to refer to the quote that she had sent, which was, it's all about the way you carry it. And I was really excited when I heard her quote because what it made me think about is how do I handle things when I'm stressed, tired, hangry, and because sometimes, I don't do too sleepy. Sometimes I'm not at my best when I'm sleepy or hungry. And so, how am I handling that situation? Am I handling it with grace and love? Or am I complaining? Am I telling everybody the same sad story? Like, what does that look like when I am going through something that could possibly break me, but it could also make me? But I believe that sometimes it's not about me. Sometimes it's about the people who are watching me. And not that I am responding in a way that does not honor me, but there are certainly a lot of situations where if I'm going through something that is something that I don't desire to go through, I can still go through the situation and learn what it is I need to learn. And I was having a conversation with, I'm trying to think who I was talking to. Um, I think it was maybe Aisa. We were talking, and I was telling her that um, I was talking about my divorce, and just telling her that as I was talking about my divorce, I was very conscious not to badmouth or talk negatively about my ex-husband, because really I'm the one who chose him. So, I mean, let's be honest, you know, and for me, what that looked like is really learning the lessons in a way that honors myself and my choices, and it just being about learning the lessons that I needed to learn. And so I think there are times where when we are going through things, the first response that we have sometime is to call 7 people and tell them the same story over and over. And you could do that. You could. But what that does is you relive that same thing over and over again every time you tell it. And so I was taking a leadership class, and in the leadership class, there's something that wait, let me see. Hi, hi, Dana.
I hope this. Hi, I feel awful for
No,
your listeners
no,
too. This is we had like a bit of a tornado come through, so our
yeah,
Wi-Fi is wonky now
yes,
too.
yes. So here's the
It's
thing.
just
Here's the thing. I don't want you to feel bad because I was just chatting up a storm. Really, I was. Really, it's all good. It's so here's the thing. So let's take a couple of deep breaths. Yes, because we are still excited to hear you. Still excited. And this, internet, we gonna rebuke that in the name of Jesus. How about that?
how about it? Yes, I'm
Yeah.
with you on that.
Yes. So
No weapon formed.
yes. No weapon formed. So
Mhm.
Dana, I did publish your bio, but is there anything that you want to say about what you do? How you're feeling? Anything before we jump into your quote on what the quote?
No, I mean, actually, I'm in a new space. I worked for 20 years, a little over 20 years, in law enforcement, learned a lot, made a lot of great connections and relationships formed in different communities. And so now, this last year, I'm in a new space. So I'm doing some corporate security work, and I'm getting to apply coaching in that space,
Mm,
which is where we met. We have the
yes,
same coach.
yes.
Um,
Shout out to Valerie
I'm
Burton.
loving it.
Shout out to Valerie Burton.
That's right.
Okay.
Thank goodness for Valerie. Lots of great connections when we went
Mhm.
through that course. So I'm really getting to use that. So
Yeah,
I'm in a great space.
awesome. You look very happy,
I am.
and your eyebrows are always on fleek. Just,
Can I just tell you how much
I'm
work
just
these
saying,
eyebrows?
the eyebrows are on fleek. I love them.
A lot of work, Tawana. Oh my gosh. If anyone was
Listen,
to ever see me with that look.
they look wonderful. Okay, so we may be losing Dana again. Hopefully, she'll come back in. But um, in talking about the load that you carry, wouldn't it be great if we all made the choice to carry the load in a way that honored ourselves and God? Okay, come on in. Listen, Dana, the third time is a charm. Third
Is
time, here
a
we go.
charm. And if it isn't, I'm going to let you talk to your guest uninterrupted. And we'll try it again when there's not a tornado.
So funny. So funny. It's all
Yes,
good.
ma'am.
Listen, when I make it big, this is going to be the episode that is like puts me over the top. This one right
I
here.
hope so. I
Yeah.
hope so. Yes.
Yeah.
That's my hopes.
So, yes. Okay. So let's talk about the quote. So you sent me a quote by Lena Horne. Can you can you hear me? Can you hear me?
I can hear you now. Yes.
One more time. There she is.
I can hear you.
Okay,
Yep.
awesome. Okay, what does the quote mean to you? Where did you first hear it? How was it impactful?
Um, basically it's not the load, it's the way you carry it. And when I heard that years ago, it just struck a chord with me. We
Mm,
can choose to carry. We all have things, right? We all have families, we all
yeah,
have work things, we all have things that kind of bog us down. We all have things that happen that make us sad. We have trauma, we have loss. We can When I heard that, I thought about we can choose how we carry that. And a lot of the time, if we're not conscious of how we're carrying something, we let it kind of bog us down. And I thought about all the
mhm,
different ways we carry,
yeah,
whether it be by way of fear, anxiety, or perception,
yeah,
how we perceive things. And if we think about that, um, we can carry things differently and we
mhm,
can change the trajectory of our lives,
yes,
basically.
yes, absolutely. So, do you remember why Lena Horne said what she said? Did you hear where were you at when you heard it? Do you remember when you heard the quote? Oh, well, we lost her again. So maybe she'll come back. I'm thinking that the fourth time. Here we go. The fourth. Here we go. It's it's all good. It's all. Do you remember?
I
Like,
think this is going to be a tough. This is going to be a tough one for you. Um, I heard it. A few years back, I was in a. I was doing a master's, and I was very blessed to be in a cohort with all women, and it was for leadership. And
mm,
so we did 2 years. We were together, and we did various projects and papers and studied together. And so we were always finding quotes that kind of kept us motivated. And I remember that's where I first came across the quote. If I had to think about what Lena Horne was going through,
mm,
imagine she's a Black woman in a time where it was tough to be in entertainment. It was
yes.
tough to be in Hollywood.
Mm,
Um, she had to keep her head raised high, and she had to maintain the standard that she had set for herself. And the more I learned about her, she was super strong,
mm,
and she was an advocate, fierce advocate for, civil rights and things like that. So I just think that she was carrying the load,
yeah.
but she knew that she she had in her mind and how she carried herself, she had to carry it differently in order to meet the goal, in order to survive, basically.
I think it is so ironic that we are talking about a quote from Lena Horne about the load that's being carried and the job that you have at this time is having you up at 2:30 in the morning carrying a load. When we were going in and out, I told the listeners, I'm like, she's been up since 2:30 this morning and still was like, okay, we're going to do this. And so I see a lot of similarities between you and Lena because we are also living in difficult times,
We
just
are.
just like she was.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Um, I didn't, would you say I didn't hear your last
I
part?
didn't say anything. I thought you were getting ready to speak. That's all.
Oh, yeah, I think we are living in difficult times, and we are, and we're living.
Man, almost. Um, but I think that her giving Lena Horne's quote was very insightful. Okay, go ahead and finish, Dana. We're gonna get it.
I think we're living. Yes, we're going to get this done. We are
Yep,
determined.
we
We are
are.
support one another in
Yes,
this, and
yes,
we are thank you, our listeners, for being giving us grace
absolutely.
and allowing us to get through this.
Yes,
So I think that we weren't expecting to live through some of what we're living through, but I also think that we grow. We're going
hmm,
to grow. We're living through a pandemic. We're living through civil unrest and, people just, fighting for what's right and, just a lot of things. Um, and I think we're going to grow, and I think we're going to come out of this and see how strong we are as humans,
yes,
and how to make connections. I've watched for months how we have built our communities on social media because it's all we had.
hmm,
And so we're learning how to carry the load, and we're learning how to do it differently, and we're
yes,
adjusting. And I think
yes,
that we're gonna be better. We're gonna be stronger.
absolutely. It's so
And
funny that you say
choose
that.
positivity.
Yes, yes. And why is positivity so important to you, Dana?
It's important because if I can't be a light for someone, it's all dark. It can be all dark. Again, if
Right.
people aren't consciously figuring out how to carry the
Yes.
load that we are experiencing for the past 5 months,
Yes.
it can be dark. I choose to be light. Um, I choose to find people who also emit light and who are kind and who want to
Yes.
give people hope.
Yes.
I have hope and I want people to have that
Yes.
same feeling. I don't want to feel defeated right now.
Absolutely. You know, it's so funny that you say that because I was at a in the drive-through line a couple days ago, and this lady, 2 cars before me, paid for my order, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, like this is awesome," you know. So of course, I had to pay for the
Another,
gas behind mine, you know. But it made me
that's right.
realize. Excuse me. Look, I got on makeup for the first time in 45 years, so my eyes running. But um, it just
I
made
love
me
it.
think about how easy this could be. The pandemic, um, race relations, you know, this could be a lot easier than what we're making it if we decided to carry it differently. That let me get a tissue. See, you know what? This right here, look, girl, listen. Um, if we decided to carry it differently than what we were carrying it, you know what I'm saying? If we could, I lost her again. If we could carry this with love and elegance and grace and forgiveness, maybe it wouldn't feel like the load was so heavy. And so it really makes me really have this correlation between Lena and how she was living, or the times that she was living, and how maybe we're still having some of those same similar experiences that she was experiencing in the 60s. And, you know, Dana talked a little bit about choice. And choice, I am finding in my own life, is one of the most important responses that I can have, because I can choose kindness, or I can choose to be mad. I can be fussing. I can, you know, be talking about it, or I can choose to go through this process with grace and elegance and ease. Come on through, Dana. Come on. Because I look, my eyes are
No,
running.
finish. I'm listening.
Um, but I was talking about what you were talking about as far as choice, and how, you know, it's easy to blame to point the finger at other people, but we also can choose to walk through a process with elegance and grace. You know what I'm saying? Instead of,
Yeah,
um, you know, making another choice. Instead of making another choice.
sure.
You know, I had
And we can choose not.
yes, you can say that one more time, Dana.
We can choose not to judge how other people walk through it too. I think sometimes our expectations are that people should have the same walk. I'm going to portray light. I'm going to portray positivity so that I can mirror what I'd like to see, but I'm
Yeah,
not going to place any expectations on how other people come through this. I'm just hoping that, and being responsible for myself and knowing how I'm carrying it and what I'm projecting and what I'd like to see mirrored back. It's so easy right now with everything going on, and some of the things I see where the anger is projected. There's so much anger. I choose not to give that back. I choose not to engage in
yeah,
it.
yeah,
Um, that again is how are you carrying it? Are you giving the rage? back, or are you going to have your peace and maintain your peace?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Do you hear the rain? Can you hear the rain? It is
I
very
can't,
loud.
but I can only imagine. I've
Yes.
been through it.
Yes. I know. So, I love what you said because it is all about the way that we're carrying things. It reminds me of when we find out how old somebody is, and we're like, wow, she don't even look that, she don't even look that old. But it could have a lot to do with the way they are choosing to carry the things that they're going through,
Absolutely.
you know?
Absolutely. I'll give you an example if
Yes.
it's okay, if we have time. In my previous career, when I was, there for a little over 20 years, I had got to a place where it felt heavy. And um, what I said, I got to put I think sometimes you don't even know how heavy it is until you consciously think about it. But it had gotten heavy, and here I am trying to manage everyone's expectations. Well, you've been there that long, you should stay, or And so I carried it as long as I. But
Mm.
it began to manifest from the inside. I didn't feel good. I was going to the
Oh
doctor.
my gosh.
My back hurt, my body hurt, everything. And then so I stopped one day and I said, I'm I'm not gonna, for lack of a better word, die trying to maintain something that doesn't bring me joy anymore, or something that
Yes.
I want to try something else. And I think that you have that again, the fear,
Mhm.
trying to manage everyone's expectations. And I finally said, I'm done. No fear. God has me. If it's in my heart to get this done, I'm putting up my own obstacles. So I said to myself, I'm done. And I changed. I pivot. I made a complete pivot,
Love that.
and it has been so beneficial. And I regained my happiness. My skin changed. Things changed. My body didn't ache as much because I'm walking in my truth. I made a conscious decision to carry my load differently and to not walk in fear. And here I am a year later, feeling the best I've felt in years.
Looking 12. Looking like you 12 years old.
I wish.
And did you go
Well,
vegan?
but and I'm telling you, it's all about truth. Here I was, and one more thing, I was like coaching people and helping them
Mhm.
make these steps and these moves and
Yes.
let go of the fear. And I said to myself, how in the world are you going to help others and you are not taking your own advice? Enough is enough.
Oh my gosh. That is one of the most incredible things about coaching people. We lost her, but she gonna come back around. Up. That's one of the great things about coaching people. Look, now it's quicker now. It's quicker. You jumping back on quicker, Dana. Here we go.
Yeah, I figure we're just going to, do this. We'll get 3 minutes and then we're off.
Yes. 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 But I think it's so insightful what you were saying, because even when I read the quote and when I was thinking and talking about the quote, I hadn't really thought about it from the way that you just talked about the load that we're carrying as far as it relates to the choices and the decision, the life that we're living. Are we happy? Like, are we happy? And are
Right.
we going to be responsible for that?
Absolutely.
You
And
know?
are we going to allow ourselves to experience some joy?
Yes.
And are we going to have regrets? Am I going to be, you know, some years down the line say, I wish I'd have made that leap when I knew I should have?
Oh my God.
I could have failed. I could have failed. It could have not ended up. But guess what? I would not have had a regret because I said, I want to try it. I'm going to stop being worried about if I'm ready or if I'm prepared or if I've done enough or if I can jump from, one into corporate, can I
Yes.
make that transition?
Yes.
Absolutely can. I absolutely
Yes.
did. And I want everyone to know that you can too. They can too. They
Yes.
just have to
Yes.
change your perspective
Yes.
and carry it.
Yes.
Really.
And one of the great things that you said is that you tried it. Because what think, I believe that a lot of people get stuck in preparing, trying to figure it out. Hey, I was one of those people. In really over preparing, wanting it to be perfect, or continuing to make the same choices and decisions over and over again. But I don't
Yep.
believe that that is why we are on this earth. I don't believe that we are on this earth to live our todays like our yesterdays. You should not be driving the same way
No.
to work every day, eating the same thing for lunch, talking to the same people, coming home and watching the same TV shows, going to bed. Like, come on now, we gotta try something new.
Even though I still only listen to 90s R&B, but
Yeah,
okay,
well,
everything
I
else
mean,
I'm a
that's
change.
something different. Yeah, I can listen to that. That's that was the good music.
Yeah.
But it's like even that's one of the reasons why I'm doing this podcast is because I've been talking about doing it for at least a year and a half. But my coach said, "What are you waiting on? Like when you gonna start?"
That's it.
You prepared and did I had taken pictures and did all kind of stuff. But it's like, okay,
Okay.
there's something about getting off of the couch and beginning something new. There's something to that.
Yes.
It is. I think that's where all the magic is just realizing that okay, if it doesn't work, that's fine. Try something else. But that could lead
Fail
you
forward.
fail forward. That could lead you to the next place that you need to go. Absolutely.
Yes.
So, Miss Dana,
Yes. Thank
what's next for you?
What's next for me? Um, I've been thinking about this a lot lately, and I'm either going to create um, something more where I am, or I'm going to branch out. And I have been doing some coaching and doing some things myself, but just not a
Mhm.
lot,
Yes.
because again I was like, well, I'm here and I'm just not, I'm gonna continue to do it. Everyone that I have coached, everyone that I have helped, always tells me, the perspective and the guidance and the questions, the probing questions have helped them immensely. So I think I'm going to continue on that path. But more importantly, my heart is still with women and
Mhm.
helping them rise, helping them to be leaders and giving them their voice and helping them not to be afraid to go, not only move forward but fail forward. And then again, it's a lesson. You put that in your tool belt and you keep going. It's just that didn't work. Now I'm going to pivot. So I'm going to continue to work with women.
Man, we were so close. We were so close. Listen, this is probably one of my favorite episodes because I get to use all my skills. I was saying this is gonna be one of my favorite episodes, Dana.
Oh man, you have
Yes,
the patience,
yes, because
Joe.
I'm using all my skills.
You're pivoting like every
Yes,
3 minutes.
yes. Listen, this podcast is the perfect example of how to carry your load because we could have got mad. You could have said, forget it. When I realized that I was an hour before you, we could have made another choice and a decision. We could have made a lot of choices. But look at us. It's 7:42. We're 42 minutes in. And we have had a great conversation. So I'm so
Yeah.
excited. I'm so excited. Girl, it's thundering and raining outside, something crazy. So is there anything else that you would like to leave the listeners with?
If it, if there's one thing I'd leave with them, it's don't be afraid. Fear is a dream killer. Fear is, it's never good. And it isn't what we're here for. We're here to prosper. We're here to reinvent ourselves over and over again. We're here to make the world a better place for other people. We're here to
Mhm.
support. Um, we are here to be and do good. And so if there's anything that has been on your heart, go for it. I can't say it any better than that. And change your mindset and figure out how to carry things. I was listening to
Yes,
Valerie the other day, and she said, for the last thing is, there's a word you can change, and it can change your whole perspective. You can say, I have to go to work. I have to get this project done. I
yes,
have to do this.
yes,
You can say, I get to go to work.
yes,
I get to do this project. I get to create some of the things that I you
yes.
actively do. You change your perspective, you change your
Oh shoot. Okay, wait. Okay, I'm good. We get ready to do the coaching corner. How about that? So you know what this means when I put my hat on.
you
Okay, Dana,
finally got your hat.
I do. So
You
look,
got
so
your
this
hat.
I do. So this is a coaching corner right here. This is when I put my hat on. So usually, first of all, I love and also Pam Bradley also loves the quote that you said, fear is a dream killer. Fear is a dream killer. And so
Yes.
usually at this point, I give a tool or two that our listener can use that might be related to the quote that you gave. So, since you are also a coach, how about you give one and then I'll give one? How about that?
You broke up. I'm sorry, Twan. I didn't
Okay,
even hear you.
that's okay. So, since we are both coaches, oh man, there she goes again. Okay, so listen to this. I'm gonna give you the. I'm gonna give you my tip from the coaching corner. The quote from Lena Horne is, "It's not the load that breaks you down; it's the way you carry it." So, one of the things that I would invite you to do is, oh, there she is. Here we go. We are in the coaching corner.
Oh, good. I'm listening. I want
So
to be coached.
I'm gonna give them a tool that they can use as a coach, and then if you're so inclined, you can add to that. Okay. So one of the things that I believe it is important to do is to think about things that you are doing that are on autopilot. And so, if there is a situation that you have been complaining about, work, kids, your partner or husband or wife, so you know how it feels to complain and fuss, what I would like for you to do is to make a different choice. So, is there three other choices that you could make as it relates to that don't revolve around fussing, blaming, or remaining stuck, is what I'll say. And so, three, I want you to do three so that you can try a couple different things on. So, so here's the thing. So, when this COVID thing hit, I was upset that I still had to go to work because I didn't want to go to work. Everybody else was staying home. I didn't want to do all that. But then it's like, okay, but Tawana, you have a job, you're getting paid, and you're safe. So those are three things instead of me talking about the fact that I did not want to go to work. Because me talking about what I don't want to do really isn't serving me or getting me to the point where I want to be. And even Dana, when you were talking about how you were feeling as a result of not living a life that you created, and you had a lot of pain and discomfort, so you made a different choice. So that would be one of the things that I would say is really think about what are some other ways that you can respond or react or think as it relates to something that you as it relates to a load that you are carrying. Okay, Dana, I would give you my hat, but I can't reach it. It ain't going all the way to Illinois. So what you got? Put that.
I'm going to bring it full circle. When you started off, you told me to breathe, breathe. So, what I'm challenging everybody to do is right now is just breathe and bring yourself full circle. And in the next day or so, I want you to imagine what is the life that you want to live? What is the life that you want to create for yourself? And I don't want any what ifs or I can't or fear to pop in. But if you could create the life that you wanted right now, what would that look like? And I want you to write it down. Write it down because when you write it down, it becomes a thing.
Yes. It connects with
It
your
can grow. Write
subconscious.
it down.
Yes.
Absolutely. Be very specific. What is it? What job is it? Are you an entrepreneur? What does your life look like? What does the space look like? What does your home look like? What would you do differently? Would you say no sometimes, even though you always say yes? Will you be kind to yourself? So, what would your life look like if it was exactly the one that you chose?
Yes.
I want people to start thinking about that because when you start thinking about that, you get real about it. You start writing it down. You start making steps
Yes.
towards it.
Absolutely. I love that. And the other thing that I thought about when you said, um, if you're, when you were asking about ways that you respond, if you're always saying no, maybe the choice for you is to say yes.
So it's the opposite effect.
Yes.
Absolutely.
I mean, whatever you're
Absolutely. Why not?
doing, yes, whatever you keep doing the same of, try something else. Do something different.
That's right.
Yes.
Knock on a different door, man.
I love it. I love
Make your own path.
Yes. So I'm gonna tell one thing about you that I think is absolutely amazing because I know the best people. I have the best humans. But we were talking about the quote, and I lost her, but she gonna come on in the end. She gonna come on in. But we were talking about the quote, what the quote, and she was telling me that I was like, okay, well, we're gonna go live, we're going to StreamYard, this, that, the other, and so I was like, okay, we're going to go live on Facebook and we're going to go live on YouTube. And she said, listen to this. Listen to what Dana said. She said, I don't have Facebook. I was like, yes.
I know.
Listen, the people who I know, they are trailblazers and they are trendsetters because Dana was like, I don't have Facebook. And I was like, yes, Dana, yes.
I don't even know if I'll get to watch this. I don't have it.
You will, but I was like, oh my gosh, you know what? This one right here, she is a trendsetter. So I thought that was so awesome. Because you made a different choice. You made a different
It
choice.
wasn't good for my soul. It wasn't good for my spirit. It wasn't good for my soul.
Absolutely. I was like, that's what I'm talking about. She made a different choice. And so, okay, let me take my hat off. Thank you so much. This has been the best ever. It really has.
Even with,
Yeah.
even with all our obstacles, right? Our 3-minute intervals, like get it in for 3 and
Because
quick
listen,
break.
it's all about the way we carry it. It's all about the way we carry it.
That's it.
And so, how can
Absolutely.
people, yes, how can people get in touch with you? I know they can't get in touch with you on Facebook.
You know what? Let's see. What is it? At Right Vision on Instagram?
Yes,
I'm on Instagram now.
yes,
And
yes.
I am at Right Vision Consulting, at Right Vision Consulting on Instagram. And that's basically catch me there.
I love it.
And I love to meet new people and I love to collaborate and but I have to keep it streamlined, else I will have
Yes,
to stay focused. So
I get
Right
it. I
Vision.
get it. Yes. And is the grandbaby here yet? Is the grandbaby here yet?
Next, no, this week. So it's my first grandson,
Oh my
and
gosh.
I'm anxiously anticipating his arrival. I cannot
Yes.
wait. I
Oh, I
cannot.
know.
I
I
love it
know.
already.
I'm so excited for you. Another small human I'll get to see and watch it
Another
grow up.
small human.
I'm excited. Thank you so much.
And you and I are similar. We love small humans.
We do. We do. We do. So thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. This is another episode of What the Quote in the Books. Listen, I need everybody to subscribe on iTunes, Apple Podcasts, and please leave a kind review. I'm trying to do something, but I need y'all's help to help me make it. So I need you to
That's right.
subscribe on iTunes and leave a review.
iTunes.
Yes, I love y'all. Thank you for listening. Okay, listen, it was so important. I I created a theme song so we could sing. And with the
That's
quote, we create kind humans who speak kindness, show kindness. Be a kind human. Be a kind human.
I
See,
love that.
I know, right? Okay.
I love it.
See y'all next week.
Bye bye.
Hold on. See y'all next week.